Hi guys, this is a Regal XR2 sports jet. I'd like to thank other guys for putting stuff on the internet. That's really helped me. So I wanted to give back a few dramas that people may have come across in this particular boat as well. First thing is, when I got it, it had only had one spark plug on the far side. So that's the side on that one over there. To fix that, it says you need a special puller, but undoing these 3 bolts, you can put a puller in, and I changed the stator. Now the stator, I'll post on here later on of what stator I got, but I've looked online and there is a number written on the stator. They will match up, and I picked it up off eBay, and it was in, I think by memory, it was about $360. The wiring was fairly easy. It all comes wired up well. Just to take this last screw off. So in here, you take the cap off. I normally put a standard puller. I use those 3 screws there and put the centered pole in there. I gave it a fair bit of tension. I did give it a couple of taps on top of the puller, and it did come off. When I got it off, there was 2 magnets that were come across that came off. I put those 2 magnets back on with some JB weld. A quick note: put a fair bit of JB weld on it because it did break. Another one did come off later on. So yeah, again, you don't need to use that one there. That does have a special tool that fits inside that and pulls it from there. But to let you know, I did do it by using a standard harmonic balancer puller and pulled it off with that one there. And then you'll find access to the stator pretty easy. There's 4 bolts. Unfortunately, when I got the new stator, one of the magnet lines was with the over the bolt holes that I needed to use, so I did use with three standard bolts. So you're changing the stator. You'll need to take off, there's 3 screws here. There's one here with a hole, there's one down the bottom, and there's one over to the side. There's 3 bolts. You need to remove those, and that whole panel then will come off, and then just pull the wires out and push the wires back in. And once I've replaced the stator, I did have all spark plugs running on the left hand side again, so the right hand side had no spark. So I replaced the switch, which is down the bottom down here. To do that, it had a lot of leads. This has to come off again because the wires come up from inside there, and you just basically you unplug these and they're all color coded and plug them back in again. So the fast switch will do, sorry, I've made this one here actually went out. So the fast switch on the inside, there's 2 switches down there. If you're getting switches, buy 2. I only bought one. A month later, the other one blew. So you get 2 switches at the same time. So the far one does this side, the near one on this side does the far side. I don't know why that is. This is the way the boat was done. Once I put the stator in, 2 switches, I had sparks out through the whole lot. That was all good. Got that all going again. Later on, I did blow a gear, so I had to get a new gear. They're not cheap. That was $90, that one little gear there, but the starter motor worked fine. Another thing you may come across is this thing here. When I bought this, I saw on other clips that they have a special valve. That is a garden valve from Bunnings. I just use that and it's quite successful. So I just put a normal hose connector on there and I got a tap, clamped that on there, and it has been quite successful. When I bought the boat, it didn't have it on, and I found it when I got the water. I had water coming out of there quite fast. So that is a quick, easy fix. It's only like $3 down at Bunnings to fix that up for you. A couple other little dramas, just so you're aware. You can see what I've done here. I had a lot of troubles with fuel, so I got a switch and I plugged it into the fuel switch and connected up to the battery, and that way I can self-prime the fuel which gives pressure to the boat. Now I did have a lot of troubles with fuel. As you can see, I've got a standard Z6 filter, I believe it's called. I put it in and I'm watching air bubbles coming in. The boat is going quite well now, so I don't need that anymore. I'll be going back to the original filter. There is a petrol filter there, that's why the oil's still off. I've got to plug the oil back onto there again, screw it on. So I did have a drama, as you can see, using this filter. The flywheel was rubbing on that filter, so that's hence the reason I'm changing it back. The only reason I did that is so I could see air bubbles in the, if there's any air bubbles coming through there, and if it was getting plenty of fuel, and that's working quite well now, so I'll change it back. If you look down through there, I've also put another inline filter on that one as well. So I've got 3 filters connected. I've got that new one I put in there, which is generic. I've got the standard filter, which you'll need changing because that filter there had dirt and grit in it. So I changed that around, and that same filter there is also the same one, looking one that fits into here. So there's 2 filters, but I've now got 3, and I'll leave the 3 in there just to make sure it's going well. You'll probably find, I don't know if you've come across this or not, but the boat was running very good at low speed, and I could not work out why. I wasn't any I couldn't get above 10 mile an hour. All I did is undo this screw here, which is your trigger, and I wound it out at 1.5 turns, and hey presto, I got full power back again, and I was hitting about 30 mile an hour. The boat gets up to about 33, 34 mile an hour, that's about it, so I still think there's more room in the engine for that. What else can I tell you that you guys helped me out with on our previous videos about how to about things that gone wrong? I did put a whole new set of spark plugs in it. I didn't really need them. That's your coils there. There's nothing wrong with those. You can see they're new wires, so come with the switches. They're all color coded and they worked out quite well, so that's easy to do, so don't be frightened about doing those. They will work out quite easily. If you have any other questions that I might have done with this boat, because when I got it, nothing worked on it at all. The accelerator was all frozen, and the way I did that, I undid these things here, and I pulled them all off and jammed them in and out until I freed them up and put a bolt onto there. And also this didn't work either, that was all jammed, so I took that apart. I also took this apart and fixed it all up. As you see, there's probably some screws in there to get that all going. Another problem I had, the boat wouldn't turn off. So when I got it, eventually got it started, it wouldn't turn off. So that is another ignition switch, again bought on eBay. And once I put a new ignition switch in it, that got able to turn the boat on and off quite easily. Other than that, guys, yeah, I think we're pretty good. The boat does go now. It took a lot of time. It's taken a bit over a year to get it going, but I haven't been concentrating on it that much. So I've got an area now where I can turn the key and it starts quite easy. It never did that before, so it's taken a fair bit of work to do that. If you have any dramas, let me know. I still use the oiler. I still run with the oiler, so it does its own oil. It also it changes the priming when it first starts, so it gets going quite easy. This I've changed as well. They come up quite easy. You can get it on eBay about $30 a strip, and I took all those off and put new pieces on there. It did have a dual battery system. I changed to 1 battery. I think that's all it needed. Having any dramas with it. Yeah, the boat goes quite well now. I think that's all the thing I did. I did change the bottom carburetor as well. I did a carburetor rebuild. The gasket kits are quite dear. They're $60. There wasn't much wrong with it, so I was pretty happy with all the carburetors. There's no air filter in this particular boat, which I've tried to search, and I've noticed I have no air filter in this. It's just a cover that sits on it. Yeah, guys, so that's all you can have a close look at that, what I've done there. What I've done is disconnected the wires, put those wires there, and that wire there goes hitting straight to the battery, so when you press the button, it primes the fuel through there, which you can see the fuel go up into there then. And that's about it, guys. That's how I've got the boat going, and hopefully that would help you out in a few things if you've had dramas with your boat as well, with your jet boat. I was lucky that I did not have to worry about the the jet in there, so I probably can't see in there, but it's fairly good condition. I've got about a millimetre gap, so I didn't need to do that. Yeah, so anything I can help you with, please give me a yell.